Let me just post these, and then we'll be switching over to our winners match between Carlosflow and JackPaX. So we're actually going to jump straight into DT1. I'm going to have to fix a couple of stuff before everything looks right. So just hold on for a moment. This is actually the very first map of the match, so nothing to catch up on there. Just going to update this. Alright, what's going on in this match? Both players FCing with the exact same accuracy so far. Okay, well, there is a break finally from Carlos. Going to be giving over that lead to JackPaX, who is going to very instantly take a very large lead. Bit of a diff spike map. And JackPaX going to come out on top here, even if you missed on the very next note. I don't think Carlosflow will be able to build up enough score to take this. Mancho seems to be having a fun time right now. But anyway, JackPaX with a very impressive 2x100 FC on DT1, going to be taking a breakpoint right away. Okay, so JackPaX for his first pick going to go for no mod 1. Going to be a moment here before we get into this one. Okay, seems like Carlosflow had just gotten onto the game, as he was a little bit late for the lobby and therefore lost his bans. So it is just going to be Nomad 2 and Hard Rock 3 banned from JackPaX. So we'll have a couple extra maps to choose from in case this does end up going the distance. But being not warmed up against JackPaX is a pretty scary situation to be in. So we'll see if Carlos is able to turn it on once we get a few maps in, because at the moment breaks early is not going to be helpful here. But yeah, might just be still warming up a little bit. JackPaX going to be building up a pretty large lead here, still on that FC, with Carlos dropping a few misses here and there. Yeah, it just seems like some first map on kind of play here. You did look okay on that DT1, of course not actually winning the point, but struggling a little bit more on this map, as it is definitely more difficult than that DT1. On the other hand, JackPaX looking very prepared for this match. Though probably didn't need to practice this map, as this is pretty well known. But at least looks warmed up for the match. Going to be taking this map for sure. There's no chance of a comeback there, unless he decided to AFK the rest of the map. Even then, would be hard pressed to see Carlosflow string together some combo, as he is still struggling a little bit. Might just be saving energy for the next maps while he adjusts to playing the game. But if Carlos does not warm up quickly and get into the groove, this could be a pretty one-sided match. That is going to be a very impressive FC from JackPaX. $996K, nearly getting over 1 million on no mod, of course. Very impressive score. Only 8/100s. So even if Carlos was warmed up, I think this would be a tough score to beat for sure. Would have to be a higher rack FC, which is not too likely. I think it's the first FC we've seen all weekend, so props to JackPaX. It's going to be DT4 next. This is a Control-Alt, Snap Aim DT4. Bunch of these cut bursts. And fast snaps as well. They are 10.3 as well, but neither of these players are going to be struggling on that front. See if Carlosflow is able to muster together a score here off of no warm-up, and seems to be doing pretty alright so far. Both players holding on to their FCs. JackPaX a little bit ahead on accuracy. So even without the hidden multiplier, should still be ahead by a little bit. Carlosflow does find the first break a slider break. That's going to give JackPaX the lead here. Yeah, going up against one of the favorites to take the tournament in JackPaX is going to be a very tough matchup for anyone, especially if you're not warmed up, if you've just logged onto the game. It's going to be a pretty losing proposition. Both players with a double reset. Going to be giving this map over to JackPaX as well. But not much that Carlos could have done here. JackPaX going to finish out probably close to about 800k without any disaster class endings here. So very impressive score from JackPaX. Bit of delay. On the audio, it sounds good on my end. Maybe I can just restart both clients real quick. Hopefully that will fix it. If not, not sure what else would do it besides restarting the entire client. Anyway, it's going to be No Mod 3 next out of JackPaX. This is the aim control alt in the No Mod pool. Pretty heavy diff spike map at the end. See how the players do on that section. Of course, there are some things to break on before then. So we'll see which of these players is able to hold through until the ending. Pretty much like the entire last third of the map is just this crazy diff spike. players make it through that slider burst, no problems. As well as that cut stream. And it looks like Carlos is going to AFK after missing that slider burst. Starts playing again once we get into this ending with JackPaX still FCing, looking very strong on this. Finally does slider break. But not going to change the outcome of this match. So it does seem that this is probably going to be pretty one-sided, as much as it has already been. Carl's just going to roll next pick, and which is going to be a Hard Rock 4. JackPaX is going to be the first one to break here in this PI for the first show up. So if Carlos can hold on here, that'll be a pretty huge advantage. And he does. JackPaX did also hit the rest of that, so going to be on this recovery combo, ready to strike back at a comeback here if Carlos does miss in this next section. The next section of cut doubles, Carlosflow with a slider break right before that section shows up, but JackPaX trading that out. Now we're going to get to the break and see that with both players having lost their combos, Carlosflow in the lead by about 100k. Has the opportunity to get on the board here. Players hit the entire flow section, but Carlosflow is going to break as we get into this ending here. I don't think there's enough time for JackPaX to come back into this one. It's about 50k now. Shrinking pretty slowly. About 40k now, and JackPaX finally does break, but there was just not enough time. Even if JackPaX held his combo at the end there with a 0 miss, actually. So Carlosflow is going to get on the board here. Maybe woke up a little bit, or something like that. But as he says, at least it's not a sweep. Sometimes, yeah, you're just not in the mood to play, especially if it's on a pool that you don't enjoy. Whatever it is, it does seem that his heart is not in this match, which is perfectly understandable. Oh, just not having fun playing. Yeah, it happens. It's unfortunate. So it's going to be No Mod 5 from JackPaX. This is a CS7 precision map. Featuring a lot of linear and wide angle jumps with some pretty big spacing on CS7, so we'll see who's able to hold on those jumps. This is a deleted map from Eprius, re-uploaded with some different map stats, but has been sitting in my songs folder for about 6 years. Finally able to share it a little bit. Alright, here we go into these first patterns. JackPaX going to be the first one to break. Carlosflow going to trade on the next set of linears there. So going to be a slight combo lead for JackPaX going into this next section. But Carlosflow still in the lead by about 20k. That lead will most likely be gone by the time we get to the next hard section, with JackPaX about 50 combo ahead. Some strange Bancho moment there, where his JackPaX's cursor just teleported outside of the screen. He's not cheating, guys, don't worry. Yeah, Bancho having a bit of a hard time today, it seems. So the lead has swung over back to JackPaX now as we get into the second ki, and we'll see who's able to hold. It's going to be a trade from both players. both of them hold on that linear, which is pretty impressive. That one's pretty difficult. So it's going to be even combos and a 20k score lead for JackPaX as we get into this last break here. I think this is the last break at least. Well, at least as we get into the last quarter of the map. We have seen a break on that linear pattern right there, but neither player going to drop to that. And as we get into this ending, it's going to just come down to who's able to hold combo better here. Carlos is going to be the first one to drop. As long as JackPaX can hold on for a little bit longer, this is going to secure him the win. With a double break there, that is definitely going to do it. Definitely some RNG patterns in this map, especially on CS7, which is higher CS than the original map. So understandably pretty difficult to hold on those. JackPaX going to be taking that by about 34k. And brings this match to match point. Carlosflow going to pick DT2. This is a control heavy flowing map. 188 BPM streams, cut streams, some snap aim, some wiggle streams as well. Definitely not a normal flowing map, is this DT2. See JackPaX with the hidden optional here. Not the most hidden friendly map, to be honest, but maybe just doing it for the AR. It's AR 10.1, so not quite that 10.3, but still might just feel more comfortable reading the map with hidden. But there are some tricky patterns that I probably wouldn't go hidden on, or at least would have tried to practice them. Anyway, getting out of that intro is going to be Carlosflow on an FC with 97%. JackPaX trailing behind about 70 combo, about 1% act as well. Carlosflow is going to be the first one to drop in this KI. JackPaX is going to pull ahead here on this recovery combo. Of course, a hidden player as strong as JackPaX not going to have too much trouble with hidden on these kinds of patterns. Carlosflow with another break. And the score lead now growing to about 150k as they get into some more of these control streams. JackPaX holds throughout that section. Carlosflow does break at the very end of that, and that should be the match, and Carlosflow will be able to rest after this one. JackPaX does find an unlucky slider break in this low section, but that score lead is nearly 300k. Carlosflow does have another slider break there, does not snap quickly enough to that slider. JackPaX going to follow that up. So both players having lost their recovery combos. As we get to this outro, JackPaX going to be taking this match with a impressive 750k on DT2. Going to be moving on in the winner's bracket in semifinals. Congrats to him. Carlosflow didn't have the best match today, but is not out of the tournament yet. We'll be dropping down to the loser's bracket. JackPaX will go on to face against Zimby in the semifinals. And Carlosflow will be awaiting the results of the loser's quarterfinals bracket to see who he plays against. At the moment, Kaorege is waiting in the match before him, and Pra and Cheng will be playing. Kaorege will be playing the winner of Pra versus Cheng, and then Carlosflow will be playing the winner of that match in semifinals. Alright, that's going to do it for this stream. No other matches until much later tonight. I'm not sure if that one is getting streamed. We'll have to see, but that one's in about 7 hours at 4 UTC. So for now, this is going to it for matches today. So thank you for watching, and we'll catch you with more quarters finals matches later tonight and tomorrow. Bye-bye.